most marketers are trying to jump into bed. They're give me your contact information, download this form, come to my seminar. Let me, here's how you invest. Like, instead of dating and getting to know people, if you date people and get to know them online, it might be a little bit more expensive in the beginning, but the conversions are so much more affordable when they happen. And when they do, they stick.
Hey.
Welcome to another episode of the most Dwanderful real estate podcast ever. And today is another one of our Inside the Minds of today's millionaires. So I have a really great guest for you today. We're going to dig in. We're going to see what's in that beautiful mind of hers and see what we come up with. So as all of you know that follow the show, we interview a lot of different people, not necessarily all in real estate investing, but people that are successful. So maybe they can offer some sort of a little nugget or something that you've been missing that's keeping you from going from this level to that level. So we try to see what's inside the minds of all the successful people and how they got there and how it can also help you as well. So my guest today is Krista Mashore. Make sure I say it right? Mashore. How are you today?
I'm good. Well, thanks for having me. I'm super excited that you're going to be on my podcast as well. So that's awesome.
I know. I'm very, very excited too. So all of you Dwanderful. So this is my Dwanderful family. So he's Dwanderful. This is my Dwanderful family. So if you're new to the show, and this is the first time you're ever hearing it, we have 10 shows a month. And so just listen to, they're all great. Listen to all of them. But when we have a guest, we like to start off having drinks with Dwan. And Krista and I are, well, I'm having tea and you're having water. Good girl. So cheers to you, honey.
Cheers to you. Thank you for having me. You're so cute. I love your hair. I love the
I know. Look at my flamingos.
So adorable.
They're my sidekicks. Yeah, you know what? COVID. I was in COVID for so long. And my hair was growing and growing. And I thought, oh my God, I have so much gray hair. So I decided it was time for something fun and crazy. And I thought, you know what? If I'm not going to do it now, I'm never going to do it. So I used every semi-permanent color on the shelf. And then I did this one. I was like, okay, I really love this. So pink it is. So here we are. so here we are. All right. So Krista Mashore. So welcome to the show, first of all. And then, so what we like for you to do is we like you to give us a summary of who you are right now, how we can reach you. And then we like to backtrack and find out how you got there and what it is about you that made you be able to be where you're at today. So give us your basically tell us what's your deal.
So I have been in the real estate industry for 20 years. And I've personally sold over 2,200 homes in that time frame. My best year, I sold 169 homes in the business. And my first year, I sold 69 homes. Not sure it is about the 69 number, but anyway. And that wasn't with a big team. That was with just me and a transaction coordinator and a marketing assistant. So many people talk about, because we've done that on without this big team. So I've been in the top 1% of realtors nationwide. Now I actually coach agents from across the country how to utilize social media and digital marketing and video to really attract business and to position themselves as the authority figure in their area, and not have to do things like open houses or cold call or door knock, but really, more less traditional type of ways. So highly, like, digital marketing is my thing.
I know. I was going to ask you, what are all the things on the wall up there?
So each of those is a funnel, a digital marketing funnel that shows I did over $1 million online for each funnel. And the big one is over $10 million online. So it's generating money online.
I think everyone likes to learn how to generate money online.
Yes. That's what
is there a way you can turn your mic up just like a sliver?
How's that?
That's better.
that better? Okay.
Yes,
Good.
that's perfect. Today I'm just like, what? But it is allergy season. Everything in Colorado has bloomed, and I am so stocked up today. It's ridiculous.
No problem at all.
I've taken all the Sudafed, Zyrtec, nasal spray, if you name it, it is in my body right now. Well, I love the fact, yeah. So tell us how we get in touch with you. So I want to make sure your contact information is in the show notes, several places.
Yeah, so I actually have a podcast as well. It's called Fired Up with Krista Mashore. So FIRED, Fired Up with Krista Mashore. And we talk all about digital marketing and real estate and, video and all that great stuff. We also interview a lot of agents that are being successful right now online as well in the industry, and agents that are top producers. So we do a lot of that. And that's what I do. That's the best way to get in touch with me.
That's nice. And what's your website?
It's a KristaMashore.com. KristaMashore.com.
So Krista Mashore, so Mashore. KristaMashore.com.
And it's nice. Krista with a K, KristaMashore.com. One thing that might be helpful, honestly, for your listeners is if they're looking at doing video and how to utilizing social media, is I've got a 2-day event that I have, and I coach for 16 hours. That might be really helpful for them. Is that okay to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. That's fine to talk about that. Yeah. Anything that can help people. So I, on my side of the fence, I'm a real estate investor. When I heard your numbers, I was like, oh, I love this girl already. So I'm actually a real estate investor. So I don't have a license. I've never done the whole license side, but on the investing side, I also have done 2,000 deals.
Wow. Awesome.
So I know it is. And when I heard you say that, I was like, oh man, my ears just like, they perk up, because I know you and I know what it takes to actually do that. Like, that's not someone who's just like, getting out of bed and putting in an hour a day like that. It takes a lot to get to 2,000 deals. Like, that's no joke.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it definitely does. Good for you. 2,000 real estate. And that's awesome. You're the first.
Yeah, but I've done mine in 30 years. So I'm behind you because you've done yours in 20. So yeah. I'm a little behind. My very best year, I wholesaled 125 houses.
Wow. So you wholesaled 125, huh?
Which was a lot. I mean, I worked so hard that year. I was just like, oh my gosh, if I have to work this hard, I don't know, because I felt like I didn't even have a minute to breathe. Yeah, it is. It's a lot. It's the same. Well, especially even in real estate, nowadays you're dealing with so many different parties to the transaction. So it's constant. And many times people forget about having, they want you in the middle of the night and then early in the mornings and every weekend. And so it's a matter of like positioning yourself to say no and to set up proper expectations and boundaries with people. I got to the point where I wouldn't work weekends, or my last appointment would be set at 4:00 every day. So I'd be home by 6 because it was just too much, so. Well, we can talk about that. Actually, boundaries are a good thing to talk about. So, but let's find out, how old are you? I'm going to be 50 in August 21st. I'm almost 50. Look at you. Well, I'm telling you, honey, you look gorgeous. Okay. Gorgeous. All right, so you started basically when you were 30. So yeah, I was 30 years old. My daughter she actually got sick, and so I was a teacher at the time, and so my goal was to play real estate. I wanted to play real estate, and so I left my full-time teaching job to be a stay-at-home mom to take care of my daughter, and then in a very short time frame, found out my husband was having an affair, so I had to. We ended up getting a divorce, and I had two little kids under like 2 and 4.5, and I had to like really, really go for it, right? Because we just had bought a brand new house, and my bank accounts were drained, and so I had to keep them in that home. So my goal was to keep them safe and secure in that home, and that's what I did. And we, things worked out. You know what? You and I. When you interview me, you and I have almost identical stories. Really, so much so. Like, I know my daughter was 8 months old when my husband took off, and my whole thing was like, I needed her to have a good place to live. I did not want to put her in daycare. I wanted to be that mom that did all the fun stuff. I wanted to do all that stuff like that. So, well, good for you. So I always like to kind of just to backtrack a little bit and find out what people were like before they got into the real estate or got into their career. So with you being 50, like, what was Krista doing, like 14, 15, 16? What was Krista doing back in those days? Okay, this is crazy. So I actually have not lived at home since I was 13. So wow. I found myself living on the streets and living in people's cars and living,
in my friends' closets while they're, at night times their parents didn't know I was there, or in their parents' RVs. There was some stuff happening in the house that, anyways, I won't get into that. But so I haven't lived at home since I was 13. And then when I was 14, I broke the law. I ended up, while I was running away, going into my eighth grade, school, and stealing all the clothes and all the lunch money while the girls were out at PE. So we needed clothes, we needed lunch money, so we stole all their stuff. Imagine coming back from a PE and all your clothes are gone.
I mean, I know that's not funny, but I'm sure in hindsight, it's kind of funny to talk about it. I can't even imagine coming back and my clothes are gone. I'm just in my gym clothes.
I know. And of course, that's the last thing you want to have happen when you're in junior high. But
of course.
So I ended up getting sent to Juvenile Hall for 3 months. And then from there, I was put into foster home all through my remaining high school. And when I graduated, my foster parents were like, okay, we're not getting paid for you anymore. You got to be out within 2 weeks. So I ended up, one of my best friend's parents let me stay there for a while. And then I ended up getting a loan and putting myself through college. And that's that. Yeah. Then I met my husband when I was 23. And then, we were married for a couple of years, had 2 kids. And then kind of like what happened to you, he ended up, having an affair, and now he's still with that same girl, which is great. They're great for them. And it's just kind of life's best thing that could ever have happened, honestly. It would seem at the time like a horrible thing is the best thing that could have happened. So I wouldn't be with that today had we stayed together, because it wasn't a positive relationship looking back,
No, my husband actually got thrown in jail. So,
what?
Hey, he got thrown in jail. Mine got thrown in jail. So now I'm like, I'm trying to go to court. I'm dealing with, I know nothing about what I'm doing right now. I'm in court, I'm with attorney, I have all this crazy stuff. I have this baby, and I was like, oh my God, how is this my life right now? Like, really, how is this my life right now? And I'm telling you, but you know what? I did the same thing you did. I just put my big girl pants on and was like, hey, I'm going to raise this daughter and I'm going to make it happen. And he can rot over there, and screw him. I hope he never gets out. And which, you don't ever want them not to get out. But at that moment, I definitely thought, well, he's safer in there, because when he gets out, I'm going to kill him. So he better be staying in there for a minute. Oh, but wow, you really you had a rough start, girl.
Yeah, I did. But it was, I don't regret any of it. It made me who I am today. It made me a very hard worker. People always say you need to have, a vision. And my vision was keeping my kids safe in their house. And, being in a foster home, it was really important to me not to for them to feel that safety. And I remember on Thanksgiving looking out, like crying, and the new girlfriend comes to pick up the kids and driving my car, and she's taking them away for the Thanksgiving. And I just felt like so sad and lonely. Two bottles of wine later, right down I looked in the backyard, and I was like, it was just dirt. And I was like, I'm going to fill that backyard with the most amazing pool and backyard. And I did. So within a year, we just, I built the most amazing backyard, and the kids and I had some of the most amazing memories. And I've been remarried for 13 years, happily married. Things are great. Life is good.
It is. I didn't get married till my daughter was 13. So I was single for a really long time, because, you don't trust men, that whole, and like, do I want to bring someone into my kids' lives? Like, it's a big step to bring someone into your children's lives.
Oh, absolutely.
And so she was 13. So I was single for 13 years, but so I'm not a lot older than you, but I'm 62, but we just had our 19th year wedding anniversary.
Oh, congratulations. You don't look 62. I never thought that.
Well, thank you, girl. It's, the hair throws everybody off. Underneath these glasses, there are lines everywhere.
You can't tell.
I'm going to have to start doing a little something over here. But it's just funny, because, so many people that I talk to when we do the Inside the Minds of Chase Millionaires, some people just have like these super easy upbringings, and, other people have really hard stories like yours. But it's just interesting, the various things that really make people, you want to be successful because you're in a pinch.
Yeah.
Which is how I was. So a lot of times I meet people like, oh, well, what do I need to do? I'm like, well, why? Like, what's your why? Like, well, I don't like my job. But the way they say it is like, no, you have no motivation to be successful.
You have to have motivation.
You have to have something, don't you think?
Well, and back then, my motivation was the kids, keeping them safe. That was all what it was about. And now,
Yeah.
like, we just had our second $1 million month. Well, our sixth, but we just did $1.4 million this month during COVID, right? We just did it in May.
Yay.
We did that in January too. And then, and it's like, if you would have ever told me that I could do that in a month, what took me a year to do in real estate. Like in real estate, I was making 1.8, whatever it was, somewhere around there. But now we can do what in a month, what we've did in a year, right? Like, it's just amazing how, but my why is very different. My why now is I want to help other people achieve that success and to figure it out. And it's just as strong and powerful as it was when I wanted to keep my kids in the house. So you have to have a really strong, compelling reason to want to do something. I love helping people and seeing people succeed. I feel like, especially, the people that just, it doesn't need to be so hard, right? It doesn't have to be so hard. And sometimes we tell ourselves these lies like, oh, money doesn't grow on trees, and it doesn't. You do have to work hard, but
yeah, you do.
There's a lot of people that work hard that don't, they're not wealthy, right? So somebody's just got to work smart. Like, work smart is what you need to do too, so.
Oh, I'm with you. Yeah. See, my why is that too. My why now is like, hey, if I could become a millionaire, I can teach other people how to become millionaires. I can just spend all my days making people millionaires because, and money doesn't make you happy, but at least from my personal point of view, when they always say, oh, the grass is green, people always think the grass is green on the other side. I was like, but it is. Like, yeah. It actually is. The grass is so much greener on this side of the fence compared to that side of the fence that I was on for so long. I said, it may cost more to mow it, you hire people, whatever you got to do, but it is greener on this side of the fence. And you still have your issues, you still have problems, you still have all that, and money it's not the thing, but it sure takes away a lot of the problems.
Yes, absolutely. And it absolutely does. I completely agree with you. Just a new kind of problem sometimes, right? But the stress and the anxiety goes away. I think so many people are just living with that stress and the anxiety of the financial uncertainty and insecurity. It's hard. And I think then it starts affecting your household and your relationship and your kids. It's like a trickle effect, right?
It does.
Of this just negativity. So I think if you can find out a way to make more money and to be able to actually, quite frankly, have some more time. I mean, even that, like, I have more time than I've ever had, right? With just the right systems and different type of marketing, and actually a whole new business now, quite frankly, but it definitely, yes.
I know. So I am with you so much. You don't even know. So tell me, so you were talking about how you do a lot of this online. So give us like 3 steps that listeners could learn from you, take from you, and go, hey, I could apply that to my business, so that they're doing more online and less, especially with COVID, and like, who knows when all that crazy mess is going to go away. Yeah.
So if anybody asks me, Krista, what's the number one way that you've been able to do the kind of business that you have in both my businesses? And I would tell them it's creating videos. So I create a lot of video content, and I take that video content, and this is the most important part about it, is I properly distribute it so it's actually being seen, right? So if you create a video that gets organically goes viral, is like it's very, very, like 0.00001% of people can do that, because there's so much video content out there. So much. But if video content is the most powerful, because when you create video content, people are it's kind of like us, right? Like, people are watching this or listening to this or both. And by the time we're done, they know so much more about us just than they did in the beginning. Just in this 45 minutes, it's like they really know so much about us. Whereas if they were to read something or see the text alone, it can't convey your personality, my personality, or even the kind of trust that we're able to capitalize on from using video. So video establishes trust. It establishes people as the authority. It breaks people's barriers down. People literally, I mean, haven't you ever cried for somebody, from a character on TV, or laughed, or angry, or sad, or mad, or all of the above, right? It's because you're developing a one-sided relationship with that character on the other side of the screen, which is the exact same thing that video is doing with your audience. And so what happens is that when you show up to that appointment, or when that person meets you, I say you have to win before you arrive, right? Like, I want to win before I arrive. When you create video content, you're winning before you arrive, because people have already pretty much made the decision that they're going to want to work with you. So if you're competing with other people, your chances go up, right? The chances of them likely to pay for something when they see a video, conversions go up like 800%, right? 64% of people say video helps them in their purchasing decisions. I can just go on and on about all the stats on video. So people are purchasing you or your product or your service in many cases. So if they're 64% more likely, according to Forbes, to purchase you, then we should do video. If the conversions go up 800%, we should use video. The likelihood of getting on the first page of Google when taking that video and properly distributing it, it goes up like, was it 64 times or 54% more likely to show up on the first page of Google from using video. So there's just all these stats. And when you take that video content and you get it in the front of people so they're actually seeing it, your chances for, like, you have so much more leverage, right?
Yeah. So you're doing video from the realtor standpoint to get people to contact you, list their houses with you.
Absolutely. Yes.
And so like, what might a video like that look like?
So first of all, whenever you're creating video content, you always want to figure out what's a problem somebody's having, right? So in order for you to be considered a solution, you must be solving a problem. So identifying who your client avatar is, like what the niche is and what problems they might be experiencing. So for example, one common problem right now for everyone is lack of inventory. So many people will try to solve the problem for the buyer. How can the buyer, right, how they can, higher down payment, remove all contingencies, give the seller whatever they want. Well, I don't want buyers. So I'd rather go give solutions to sellers. Sellers are having the same problem. They're afraid to sell because they're afraid that they're going to be homeless because there's such limited inventory. Yeah. So like for the past 4 or 5 months, all the content I'm creating, it has to do with selling and how you can still not be homeless and you can find a replacement property and do a rent back, and how you can pretty much, you have the laws to the land right now. Yep. Because no inventory. So I'm creating solutions around how to sell. So therefore now I'm also educating the buyer, but I'm attracting the seller because I don't want to attract buyers. I want to attract sellers. So that's the kind of content that we're doing in real estate, right? So it's like I hook them. So let me give you an example when I say I'm good hook. Dwan, it would be like if I just said, now's a great time to buy a house because inventory, interest rates are so low. If I'm a veteran and I don't even think I have the ability to buy, because I'm not aware that there's programs out there for people that maybe don't have the best credit score and not a lot of money in the bank. Because I'm a veteran, I probably can buy, but I'm tuning that content out because I don't think it applies to me. But a better hook would be, are you a veteran and you don't have a lot of money in the bank and you don't have the best credit score, but you're a veteran? Do you know you probably can purchase a home and your payment will be less than what you're paying in rent and you'll have a tax advantage? Hey, and so that's the first thing. You hook them, right? You give a good hook.
Yeah, give them the hook.
Phase 2 is identify with their emotions. So you're going to say something like, I know it's probably hard to believe, right? You might be afraid of buying a house because you don't even know where to start or what to do. I totally understand. I remember the first time I bought a house, I was so paranoid. Well, so now I align with their feelings. Then you want to position yourself as the authority. Why should they continue to listen to you? So it's like, hey, I'm Krista Mashore. I've sold over 2,200 homes in my career, and I've been doing this for 20 years. In fact, last year we helped 27 veterans just like you, or 27. Last month we closed 16 listings, and we helped those people find a replacement property, and they weren't homeless. And here's a few things that we did. Blah blah blah. Right? So hook them. Align with their feelings, establish yourself as the expert, give the teaching tips, give them the solutions, and then a call to action. Call to action might be download this guide or watch the next video or request a market analysis or, whatever it might be, depending on where they're at in your funnel. Like your funnel is when you bring somebody into your system. And it works really, really well. And then the conversions are much stronger because people have developed a relationship with you. So they're watching your content, they're getting educated, and they're consuming it. In many cases, they're like binge watching it because they're interested in it. And now by the time they actually call you, man, they've watched a ton of your videos, and it's all because you targeted them specifically on purpose, locally or not, right? We do the same thing for realtors. We figure out the problems that realtors are going through. Solutions that they want right now. Right now, realtors want listings. Okay, let's teach them how to get listings, right? So that we're identifying that problem. We're teaching them how to get listings. And so educating them like crazy, and then kind of doing the exact same thing.
I know a lot of people that are real estate agents, and but I teach and train investors. So like from the investing side, I'm all about like, hey, a lot of what you said. But I feel like most of the people that I know that are agents, I don't think that they think like that big. I need a funnel. I need videos. I need these things. Whereas like someone like you and I, like that's our business. That's how we do what we do.
Yeah.
Now, I just don't, I just had some people in my house this week and they're like, oh yeah, we just got our license. I'm like, oh, what are you going to do? Well, I don't know. I'm just going to look for people. I just like, there's no plan.
There's no plan.
And I'm hearing them talk and I'm thinking, you're never going to make any money. So,
well, because there's, the part of the problem is that real estate agents are a commodity, right? Like they're just,
everybody knows a real estate agent.
Everyone knows multiple agents. I have like 3 best friends that are realtors that were best friends when I got into the business. Okay. And they're all doing the same kind of things. They're doing open houses, which you can't even really do anymore. They're cold calling or door knocking, or they're just waiting for the business to come to them. You attract, not chase. And so this type of marketing is attraction-based marketing. You're putting out useful content. You're letting people get to know you. You're positioning yourself as the authority in real estate, even as a brand new agent. Like one of my students, she was a brand new realtor, and we've helped plenty of brand new realtors, by the way. And she got voted best realtor in her city before she had even sold a house. She hadn't even sold a house. Because the perception was this person's doing business because they see her everywhere, right? She just sent me an email over the weekend. She's like, Krista, I just hit 6 figures in 4 months, all because of you and your training. And as a brand new agent, she is, taking over her area, right?
Nice.
It took her a while though. It took her about 10 months before to start seeing like the traction, having, making 6 figures in 4 months. She could never do, I couldn't even, as a teacher teaching for 6 years with a master's degree, I wasn't even making $60,000 in a year, let alone her making, that much in 4 months. So it absolutely does work, and it's powerful, and it can work for anybody, but you just got to stick to it and keep on pushing.
So how does a person that's a new realtor, is that your daughter?
Yeah, it's my daughter.
Hi, honey. You're beautiful, just like your mom.
Really pretty day. Where are you going?
To make some money.
Okay, love you.
Oh, I love that answer. Make some money.
So, are you going to?
How does a brand new person because I feel like most people are camera shy, first off.
First of all, everyone is camera shy. If somebody likes to be on camera, they're weird. No one likes it. It's not fun. It's uncomfortable.
I am weird because I like to be on camera.
You probably didn't start out that way, right? Like you're worried about what you're going to say. Are people going to make fun of you? What am I going to look like? What if I make a mistake? Oh my gosh, I hate my voice. What if I make all those things come to
all of it. The first time I saw myself on film, I was like, oh my God, look at how I am. Look at my weight. Look at this. Look at that. What was I thinking with that outfit? Listen to my voice. I sound like I'm 12 years old. Oh my gosh, what was I thinking? And now I'm just like ponytail, no makeup. Like, hey, what do you want to talk about? I don't even care.
And everyone is like that when they first start. Anything can be taught and trained, right? There's nothing more powerful than using video and properly distributing it in businesses, especially online. Whether you're selling business to business or business to consumer, especially business to consumer, right? Which is what most people are doing, including you. But it works, and it can be taught, it can be learned. And you can talk about real estate, the market, what's happening in your local area, what's the best dog parks or hot spots, where should you go for happy hour, what's the best hamburger in town. All these things you can create content on without having to have even sold any real estate. You can do a market update. What's the average days on market? What types of homes are there in the neighborhood? What compares one neighborhood to a different neighborhood? How are the schools in a neighborhood, right? What are the schools? How do they affect? I mean, I can go on and on about the things you can create content on without even having ever sold a home. But the perception, just like that realtor who got voted best realtor in her town, the perception is that you're doing business. And so perception is reality. You're not lying and saying I'm doing business. You're talking about real estate. You're talking about the market. You're talking about the community. And it works especially well for brand new agents, to attract business, and even better for people that are actually doing business, because then you can highlight the business that you're doing and, testimonials and how you market your homes and all these different kind of things.
Yeah. And the thing is, every single thing that you said there, that also applies for anyone that's listening that is a real estate investor. Because a lot of my people that listen are interested in real estate investing, but every single solitary tip that you just gave, investors can use it just as well.
Any business. We teach
any business. It is really anything, no matter what you're doing. As long as you're out there and your videos are out there and people recognize you, they're like, oh, because you're right. If someone is on the video or they're on a podcast or they're on the news, people immediately just, oh, well, she's an expert.
Exactly.
And you don't have to be an expert. You can, you and I'm sure, know all kinds of people that claim that they're so successful and they're this and this, and like behind the scenes that's not true.
Absolutely. 100%.
I know so many trainers. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe this person is teaching people how to be an investor. They did one deal and wrote a program. Like, how are they doing that?
That just drives me nuts. What's that saying? For those who can't do, then teach. You need to make sure whoever you hire is actually doing it, right?
Doing and teaching. I know people always say those that do, and those that don't teach. And they're like, why do you teach? And I'm like, well, because I have done 2,000 deals and my husband and I are rehabbing an entire town. And at this point, I really want to help other people have freedom. Like, why can't you do both?
Yeah. And also contribution equals growth. The more you contribute, the more you personally grow. Like we are absolutely blessing people's lives. I turn people into millionaires, myself from my programs. And they're getting their lives back. So when you bless other people's lives and help other people, that happens to you too.
You reap what you sow. I am a very firm believer in reaping and sowing. So I could not agree with you more than at all. I mean, it's like, I feel like I'm listening to myself. I'm like, oh my gosh, she like speaks my exact language.
Yeah. And it's the truth. It works, and I know people are afraid of doing it, but I actually am teaching this strategy at Funnel Hacking Live. It's like one of the best digital marketing conferences. They'll have, I think there's 5,000 people in person and several thousand online. And I'm teaching this whole strategy about, how we build our funnels and how we get traffic there and how we convert them just from the video content that we're doing prior to them actually. It's kind of like if you go to a party and you see this person, you don't just go, let's go screw, right? You're like, just go jump in bed. You typically don't do that. And if you do, the outcome's not usually that great. But what you do when you start to stalk them, and then maybe you text message them, then you call them, then you start FaceTiming, and then you meet for lunch, and then you have cocktails, and then you meet for dinner, and then you hold hands, and then you kiss, and then you get engaged, then you get married, then you go to bed. Most marketers are trying to jump into bed. They're give me your contact information, download this form, come to my seminar. Let me, here's how you invest. Like, instead of dating and getting to know people, if you date people and get to know them online, it's that the conversions and the chances, it might take a little bit longer in the beginning, right? But and not really, actually. It might be a little bit more expensive in the beginning, but the conversions are so much more affordable when they happen. And when they do, they stick.
Yeah, it's funny. My husband and I, when we met, we actually met in Colorado. I was living in Florida. He was in Colorado, and I'm in Colorado right now. So I was here speaking at a 3-day workshop, with the multiple speakers. And so I met him in the audience, and because we lived apart and we both had kids, and, we had both had tragic endings to our marriages. We were just very cautious. So we dated for 15 months and long distance, and people know long distance doesn't work, but I am one of these people that I jump in really fast on things. Like my first husband, I'm on my third. My first one, I knew him 3 weeks. It's like, oh my God, we should get married. Let's go get married, Next one, and my daughter's husband, dad, we went on a date, and he stayed over and never moved out. So I was like, all right, I need to learn how to slow my roll and get to know people and take some time, because the jumping in with both feet before you've had 2 minutes to think does not work for me anyway. And now I'm proud to say I've got 19 years under my belt. But I'm telling you, if we hadn't lived in separate states and kind of been forced to date and talk on the phone, like you said, and video and get to know each other, like that long-term thing, I don't know that we would even have gotten married, to be honest. Because I was just, so cautious. That it is like that too. People that are trying to attract customers and clients and stuff, people do need to feel like they know you.
Especially
when they trust you.
Yeah, especially for investing, and they can get, and anyone can do it. We've taught, brand new agents to do it, or people that are 70 and they think they're too old. It's like, no, you're not too old. It's just a matter of, just like anything else, you just need to be taught. And it isn't an option, in my opinion, of should I do it? It's absolutely essential for your business. It is an essential part of every aspect of a business. It's what has helped me, like I completely 4 years ago, nobody knew who I was as a real estate coach. Everyone knew me locally as a real estate agent, but no one knew me as a real estate coach. And so creating my video content and doing the podcast and getting videos out there and taking these videos and running ads behind them, putting a budget behind them so I could expose myself. We just brought in 60 new clients this month, right? In the month of May, 60 new clients. And, they're paying me a pretty penny. So, but again, 4 years ago, no one even knew me. So it definitely is doable.
And where are you located? Where are you at right now?
I'm about an hour from San Francisco. I'm in between Sacramento and San Francisco, right in the middle.
What's it called?
Discovery Bay.
Discovery Bay.
Yeah,
I love that part of the country.
Yeah, me too.
Up by San Francisco, you said?
Yeah, I'm an hour from SF.
Oh, I know. I love it up there. So I love going up there. During COVID, I have missed traveling to so many places. As we travel so much, it has been so hard not to be able to travel places.
Oh, we just got back from where were we? We were in Nashville this past weekend, and then we were in Cabo a month ago. And I'm going to Idaho next week. We're traveling like crazy right now. Now that the floodgates are open, I am like, yeah.
Now that people are starting to rebook things, like, okay, we're gonna travel. But we like to travel just a lot for fun, and we didn't really do much during COVID. We just didn't. It's like, you just don't really know what's happening out there. So let me ask you something. What is your favorite food?
Oh my gosh, I love lasagna and sushi.
I love sushi too. I love lasagna too, to be honest with you. It does not love me though. I am one of those like gluten kind of people. It's like, oh my gosh. What's your favorite band? Like your favorite band of all time?
Gosh, I love country. Lifehouse. Lifehouse is my favorite band.
You like country?
I like country, yeah. Lady Antebellum, Keith.
I actually don't know who Lifehouse is. I like country too, but I don't know I know Lady Antebellum. For whatever reason, we don't listen to a lot of country, but I was raised by Southern parents. So I grew up my whole life with like the old country, and I still love to listen to like the old country.
Yeah, I love it. I love country, yeah.
I mean, I'll sit down and listen to bluegrass. My husband's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, these are my roots, man. But I do. We have, radio in the house. Every single day, Bill puts on 70s. I'm like, dude, we lived through the 70s. We play 70s 24 hours a day. Can we just like pick a new genre, just something different to like learn? Because we're just like, it's the same.
I'm just like, oh my God, that is so annoying.
Where's your favorite place in the whole world?
We love Hawaii. I know it's probably boring. We need to venture out more and try to go to other places like Australia and Europe. That's on our bucket list.
You know what? That Hawaii is actually my favorite place too.
It's beautiful. Yeah, I love it.
Every time we get a chance to go, I don't know. There's something about when you get off the plane, you smell that air. It's it's like, it just smells amazing. There's just something about it. I love it too.
I need to book a trip there with my husband.
You do. We need to book a trip out there and all of us go and hang out with each other.
I know. I can tell we get along just wonderful.
and my husband too. We've been like really everywhere. But I don't know. There's just something about Hawaii that when you get there and you smell the air, you have that rum runner and the ocean. It's just like, this is God's little spot right there. So at the end of our podcast, we always do something called a life equity. So all my Dwanderful family, they know that I have something I call the 5 equities of life. So I kind of look at it like, if you have a piece of pie and you slice it up, like these are the things that basically make us whole and make us who we are. And I feel like that a lot of people trying to grow a business or focus really a lot on money, they get a little bit too sidetracked or too much tunnel vision. And just from what I've seen, and I've been teaching for like 20 years now, and I feel like people just in general need to have a little bit more balance in their life.
Yes, I agree.
Right? Because people that are successful, we do work out, we do eat well, we do spend time, we do take vacations, we do all those things. Now, did we all do them during my tough years? Well, I didn't do all those things because I was focused on making money. But you get going along, you're like, hey, you know what? Man, I'm exhausted. When's the last time I took a break? So you need a break. So anyway, I always love for our guests to honor us with the life equity of the week. So the category and the assignments. And then everyone that listens knows that what I ask them to do is to do it for 1 week. And if they like it and it feels like, hey, this feels good. Krista gave me something. I really like doing this. Then I ask them to just continue doing it and try to keep as much balance in their lives as they can while they're on their journeys. So what is our life equity and what is our assignment?
Okay, so this will actually help your business, but also help the people on the other end of it. So I have my students do 10 video text messages every day to friends, family, past clients, friends of friends they meet on Facebook, people they've met, you know, with their kids' soccer, whatever it might be, and just saying hi and complimenting somebody on something. So it might just be like, hey, Dawn, it's Krista. I love, Dwan, it's Krista. I love your pink hair and your fabulous attitude about life. I just want to let you know, like, you're such an inspiration. I was just thinking about you, wanted to say hi, and I hope you have an amazing day. Through video text message. People on the other end.
10 a day?
10 a day. So let's show my students do 10 a. We've been able to pretty much prove that you can pick up 2 clients every 30 days from that process, just from doing that 10 a day. But let's just have them do 5 a day so we don't overwhelm them. You don't ask for business. You don't ask for referrals. You just find a reason to compliment them. You can go on their
just give a compliment.
Give a compliment. Go on their Facebook page. Maybe their son just graduated from college, or maybe they just had an anniversary, or maybe they went to a cool restaurant. You'd be like, oh my gosh, I saw you were at Zephyr last night and that food looked so amazing and it made me think of you and I wanted to say hi. Anything, but do not ask for business or referrals. Just add value. The people on the other end of it love it. It makes them smile. It makes you feel good, and it also gets you business at the same time because people are reminded about you. Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm gonna do that. It's funny because I ran across one of my students from a long time ago. Ran across my page. He's like, oh, and he sent me a video like, oh my God, Dwan, I haven't seen you since 2007. I want you to know that because of you, I've closed 700 houses. I have 300 rentals. He's like, I didn't know what happened to you. I couldn't find you for a while. And I read, and I was like, oh my God. And I must have watched it like 10 times. So then I called him, and then we started talking, and now we're like talking all the time. And I thought that made my day, like, to the 10th degree. That made my day so much. And so, and I don't do that. I'm going to start doing that too.
Oh, people love it. And just like you said, you know how good you felt when you did that? You know, like I got one from one of my students this weekend. She's like, I told you, she's like, Krista, oh my God, you know, I just did, you know, $100,000 and 6 figures in 4 months. And it's all because of your program. And I was like, made my day. You know, she just gave me a call. So it's absolutely something that it'll help your listeners.
Okay. So I'm going to send you one every day too.
Yes, you can, absolutely. But the idea though is you want to do it to different people, right? So the idea is, and then what'll happen is you'll probably go through your database around every 3 months. So every 3 months they'll be hearing from you, and they're reminded, and then they're reminded of, oh my gosh, I know someone that wants to buy a house. I know someone that wants to invest or is looking for they're reminded, or they are. And believe it or not, people forget about us. They love us, and like my clients love me, my past clients love me, but I can guarantee you that I've lost business over the years because I was not top of mind. And so
they do.
Yeah, we all do, right? So this is one of the strategies, along with creating video content and properly distributing it, that makes it impossible for people to forget about you.
I love that. And they do, because there'll be people that will reach out and I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that person. And then all of a sudden right there, you're like, oh, and then you're talking like your best friends again. Yeah, so exactly. It does really happen. All right, so tell us one more time, how do people reach you?
You can go to, so I have a free, no, it's not free, it's $97 event, but it's if you go to KristaMashore.com /2 days live, KristaMashore.com /2 days live. You'll be able to, there's 18 hours of coaching that I do for this event. And you can also go find my podcast, Fired Up with Krista Mashore, and you can reach me there too.
All right, so I took a lot of notes. So I'm going to see how well we did getting inside the mind of Krista Mashore. So first of all, you're 50 and you're fabulous.
Thank you. You too. You're adorable.
We're going to start off straight up with that. All right, so you, okay, so hold on. So it's Fired Up is your podcast, and you have done over 2,000 deals in 20 years, which is seriously rock star, like total rock star status. And when you were young, 13, 14, you were on the streets, you were in juvie, you were in foster home. So you had a pretty rough start of things, but you took all that determination, and then you got married and had a great husband for a minute, but you had amazing kids. And then when that did not happen, you decided to put on your big girl pants and build yourself a business and make sure your kids were safe. They didn't have to ever worry about being homeless, having foster care. So your initial why was to give your children safety and just a good quality of life. And the tips that you gave us today are to do videos and help build relationships with people. Define, hold on, I wrote this really quickly. Work on the hook, the relationships, the authority, and the call to action. And you love sushi, you love lasagna, you love Lifehouse, country music, and you like Hawaii.
You're awesome.
Is that you in a nutshell?
Well, I'll say one thing. I'm a very positive person. I've learned to really work on my limiting beliefs, and we all have them, but if you work on them enough by like really listening to what you're saying to yourself and the little thoughts that come in, like the I can't and this is hard, and if you really work on that, I teach my students a thing where they have to snap a bracelet anytime they say something negative about themselves, and they have to reposition the thought and put the bracelet on the other hand, so they're actually
good idea.
You would not believe what you can accomplish, right? It's like we hold ourselves back so much by these limiting beliefs that maybe were taught to us or instilled in us. And even sometimes these beliefs, people think they're trying to help you, right? Like I remember when I'm very close to my parents now, we rebuilt the relationship. And when I wanted to be a coach, they said to me, Krista, nobody is going to pay you to coach them. Like normal people don't leave their $1 million plus, real estate career to go be a coach. Like you're in the top 1%. What are you doing? Like, we love you, but not a good idea. And they said that because they thought they were trying to help me. But honestly, I was not happy anymore as a real estate agent. I missed coaching and teaching and training, and I knew I had a skill that could help people. And had I listened to their limiting beliefs about me, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And as I said, now I make in a month what I used to make in a year, and I'm able to bless a ton of people's lives. So be careful who you listen to. Be careful what you say to yourself. Try to identify those things that are holding you back and just tell yourself a different story, because whether you say you can or you say you can't, you're right.
You're right. Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I always at the end say, do you have one more words of parting wisdom? And that is it right there. Yeah. Because I mean, so many people are like, oh, you need to get a job. You need to be safe. You got to raise your daughter. Yeah, run around. Yeah. But then when you make it, they're like, I knew you could do it. Like, where were you for like the first decade of all this? Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I have super enjoyed having you on the show. So I want to thank you for coming on and honoring us with our life equity. So guys, we're going to send 5 quick video, just, hey, thinking about you to different people over the course of the next week, which I think that will really help everybody. I love that. And you guys can go to KristaMashore.com/2 days live to be a part of her 2-day. I would like to be a part of that, to be honest with you, and listen to that. I'm sure you have a lot of really great ideas. And if you're new, you can go to Dwanderful.com, and I've got 4 free ebooks for you that just touch a little bit about different aspects in real estate investing to kind of see what you're interested in. And so I want to thank you for being on. Do you have like a final last little, like, this is my last word of wisdom? Because you have lots of good tidbits today.
No, I just thanks for having me. And if you guys want to come watch Dwan on my podcast, we're interviewing her, so she'll be on there soon too. You can get to learn more about her wonderful life, because we're going to be diving deep. So the only last thing I'll say is knowledge is great, but implementation is truly where it all comes. You got to implement.
Amen. All right, everybody, remember the truth is in the red letters, and we'll be back next week, same bad time, same bad channel. So ciao everybody, and thank you, Krista. You have a rock star day, girl.
You too. You're awesome.